Welcome back to another video. I hope you're all keeping safe and well. Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Dele Alli with the only goal of the game. We have now won 2 out of 2 in the Premier League, and Nuno Espirito Santo, well, it was a good return to Molineux for him. I've got 3 very special guests with me. I've got Paul, Ricky and Gary. Paul, let's start with you. How are you feeling about today's game?
Mate, it's nice being back on your show and actually firstly winning, not conceding, and actually the defence looked quite good, so it's quite positive. You know, the last time we were on here, I was a bit disappointed and devastated about the season gone past, but new season, new attitude, new confidence. Come on, you Spurs. Trophy coming, mate, one day.
Ricky, let's come to you. Welcome back to the channel. Now, it wasn't the best performance, was it? But 3 points is 3 points.
3 points are 3 points, my friend. I mean, you know, like you say, it wasn't the best performance.
Ricky, are you there?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? What's going on?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Am I live?
Loud and clear.
All right, I've got the boys. Chris,
I can hear you now,
yeah. What's going on?
Yeah, we got you, Ricky. Okay, that's the main thing. Don't worry.
Sorry, Chris.
Oh, mate. Nah, it like you say, it wasn't the best performance, but no. But what I really enjoyed was the battling performance, the energy, the tenacity, the intensity. Do you know what I mean? All those things up until like the 92nd, 93rd, 94th minute, whatever it went to. You know, last year we probably would have lost it, and I think we did last week we went to Molineux. So. You know, yes, it wasn't the best, but it's definitely something to build on, man. Definitely something to build on. And it looks a lot more positive. From top to bottom, you can see that those boys that are on the pitch, they want to be there, and they're trying from within. Do you know what I mean? They're working from within, not just, you know, external fitness. It's like within hunger, within desire. So it was actually really nice to see that.
Gary, let's come to you. Your initial thoughts on today's game?
It was pretty much what I expected. It's never going to be a game like Man City. You know, when we played Man City last week, I get a lot of Spurs fans that are like, oh, you know, we didn't play anywhere near as good as last week. You're away to Wolves. When you go away to Wolves, you go away to Burnley. It's a totally different game. At the end of the day, you keep a clean sheet. You know, you take your chances. Admittedly, not all of them, but you get the goal. You get 3 points. You come home. It's just a result that matters at the end of the day. On another day, I think we could have probably got 2 or 3. Kane should have probably scored, but you just it's divided with fans. I mean, my glass is always halfway full. I think to myself, we've gone away to Wolves. We kept another clean sheet. We've got 3 points. Happy days. At the end of the day, I don't really give a monkeys about the performance. Not so much when you're away from home. When you're at home, I want to see a much better confident performance. When you're away, as long as you can win, even if you nick it, I'll take it all day long. I'm happy with that. I'm buzzing. I'm pleased. And I think Woolwich are losing 2-0 at the moment. So that makes me even happier. Makes the wife happy because she's Chelsea. So it's a happy house. We're all good.
I'll tell you what, Gary, doesn't the table look good? Tottenham are back in the top 4 and Arsenal are in the relegation zone.
Mate, I've already screenshotted it on my phone. It's brilliant. I love it.
That's the league now.
I'm sending it everywhere. I love it.
Paul, let's come to you now. Let's go through the starting lineup. I expected Nuno Espirito Santo to choose exactly the same team that beat Manchester City last Sunday. That's exactly what he did. Of course, he made 11 changes against Pacos de Ferreira on Thursday evening. Hugo Lloris in goal, Tanganga on the right, Reguilon on the left, and then Sanchez and Dyer in the centre. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Ollie Skipp, Dele Alli, Lucas Moura, Steven Bergwijn, Heung-min Son. Now, the big thing, I know we're going to talk about it later on in the video, but Harry Kane was named as a substitute today. Pleased with the lineup today?
Yeah, I was quite expecting it, actually, Chris. To be honest with you, I wasn't too surprised that weren't many changes. I have to admit, my first thoughts when I saw Dyer and Sanchez as the back pairing, I was a little bit squeaky bum time, a little bit, just in case there was a penalty thrown in or something like that accidentally, or, you know, conceding a free kick, something silly, you know, not lack of concentration, but yeah, you know, you totally understand why he's picked that team. They've all been to the pre-season, the fifth level compared to the other people coming back. So, yeah, totally confident with the team, you know, and onwards and upward, matey. You know, hopefully get some acquisitions in the main bits of the transfer window. And, it's looking promising. I have to admit, I love the way that we're playing together, like Ricky said. united front from the front to the back. Everyone's coming back defending. They're looking hungry. They want to play for the band, which is great. So upwards and onwards, mate. Like Gaz says, you get your tough away fixtures, at least something from the game, and then you're back home to try and get all 3 points again. So, you know, for Thursday, we can turn that around and bring on Watford for the next game, mate.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm loving the positivity already. Ricky, let's come to you. Roy Price writes on screen now. Great 3 points. Job done, Chris. What sort of reception did Harry Kane get from the Spurs fans when he come on? I can tell you now, if you didn't see it on TV, he got a fantastic reception. The fans were singing his name. You know, they're chanting his name, the Harry Kane song, and they absolutely loved Harry Kane coming on. Ricky, when you saw Harry Kane named as a sub, how did you feel? Did you think he was going to come on?
Do you know what? As soon as I saw him as a sub, I thought he'd come on second half. And I'm really happy, like every Spurs fan today, I'm really happy that he did, because to see him in the Spurs colours playing for us with the badge on his chest, you know, it's what we all want to see. Now, you know, we was on the channel at the end of last season, and nearly every single fan was kind of like, you know what, Harry, if you're gonna go, cool, all right, you know what I mean? Like, we wish you well. We're not gonna hold it against you. After all this madness come pre-season and stuff like that, and the Man City, the rivalry bids, and you know, all of this disruption, you know, whether he's got to turn up on the Monday or whether he had an extra week off, and all of this, to put all that to bed and just to see him on the pitch was fantastic. It brought a massive smile to my face, and the biggest thing was the crowd. Like, the crowd, our fans, our away fans, including you, Chris. You know, you were louder than the Wolves lot, you know. And when they tried to banter us as well with a couple of songs, we came and we hit them straight back. And it was our stadium. It was our stadium for the last 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, that's all you could hear was us lot going for it. And like, you know, the fans have missed the boys, and the boys have missed the fans, and you can see that. And that's what was really nice to see, man. That was really nice. It was upsetting to kind of see Sonny go off. I would have hoped he would have stayed on, but it looks like he's got a little bit of a niggle. Yeah, so before the game, he had a little bit of a niggle, went with the physio. I don't know what they've done. Give him a bit of deep heat, and he's played the majority of the game. But, you know, when it was time to get him off, it was time to get him off. But, I mean, even when you look at the likes of Dele, for instance, like Dele has been putting in the work rate. Not just last week, but the whole way through pre-season. For all of these critics over last season and the season before, he has come back with a new fire in his belly. And I don't know whether you remember back in the day. Do you remember back in the day when he had that real kind of tough streak where he was punching people in the guts and stuff like that, and everyone was like, "Look, Poch, you need to temper him down." I think he almost went too far down, and right now he's got that fire back in it. He's there. He was everywhere. He was in defence. He was all over midfield. He was trying to make those late runs into the box. Do you know what I mean? And that's what was great to see. You know, from the entire side, man. I mean, Bergwijn as well. Like, for all of these critics as well, pre-season been trusted by the man. Mate, and that's just a fraction. I've always believed in him, and I've always thought that there is a baller in there. But he just needed that consistency. He needed that confidence from the manager, and he needed that trust from his teammates that he can go on and perform. And a little bit by little bit, we're seeing that.
Ricky, let's talk a little bit about Dele Alli, because he's come out after the game and said a lot of working hard, defending and fighting for the team. It's been a good start, but I've got to keep improving. Now, is this back to the Dele Alli that we know? Because all summer, a lot of the players went off on holiday. Some went, obviously played in the Euros and the Copa America. But Dele Alli, he was at Hotspur Way. He was working very, very hard to try and get back to the old Dele Alli. Is this the old Dele Alli again?
I think we're going to see a whole new Dele Alli. Forget the old Dele Alli, because that was as a youngster, you know, no fear. Nothing was going wrong for him. Everything went right. Everything went right for him through MK Dons. And then when he moved to us, you got to remember that Mason and Bentaleb were ahead of him. That was our midfield pairing at the time. And he came in, and over that pre-season and over that kind of, the first season in training, he rose levels above. And everything kind of gone his way. And when it's kind of come unstuck, he's not known how to deal with it. We saw it in the documentary, in the Amazon documentary, when he was speaking to Jose. And even he was saying, look, like, you know, sometimes you're hot, sometimes you're cold, but whatever it is, it needs to come from within you. Yeah, a bit like what Nuno was saying about Ndombele. I'm sure we'll get onto that in a little while. But like same thing. It was the same thing to Dele. It was like whatever it is, it needs to be from within you. Like, don't regret. I don't want you to have regrets in 5 to 10 years' time that you didn't give enough or you didn't do enough. And he didn't take the responsibility on his own shoulders. And he's done that this year. I'm sure he went to Dubai with Carl Walker-Peters and he done extra training over summer. He's come back looking like ripped. Do you know what I mean? He's put on some muscle, you know.
Yeah.
And he's come back with that desire and determination. And that's what we all want to see. We don't want to slag off Dele. We love Dele. We know what he can be. You know, we know that he can be that diamond in the rough that we need. You know, so to see these performances in a new role, in a role that he's kind of got for himself, built for himself, he's showing it. He's showing it, and that's perfect to see, man. I'm so happy for Dele. So happy.
The interesting question, though, Ricky, is he as ripped as you?
I don't know about that, bro. I think he's working a bit harder than me, bro. Yeah, you know what I mean. Have a look at this Spurs shirt. There's a few curves in this shirt. In Dele.
Now, a few people are asking why I'm still in the car. I'm actually at services on the M6, still travelling home from Wolves, so that's why I'm in the car. So I know this isn't the normal situation. Gary, let's come to you now. Nuno Espirito Santo said we defended well against a tough team that caused us a lot of problems. Now, Wolves had a lot of chances in that game, didn't they?
They did have loads of chances, but for all their chances, I mean, God, what about Lloris's save, man? That was insane, wasn't it? Jeez, on his 300th as well, and to keep a clean sheet, that save was just. I don't think you can really say he didn't connect with that, right? I think he did. I think a lot of that has got to go to Lloris because that save was insane. But apart from that, they had a lot of pressure and stuff like that, but they didn't have any real clear-cut chances apart from that. There was a lot over the bar. There was a bit going wide. I think we had cut chances as well. You know, Kane could have scored. Bergwijn, I mean, I really think Bergwijn played well today. You know, I get frustrated with him. It's just that last pass, a bit with him, and the final shot. But that one where he crossed, it was just a little bit behind Dele, and then you had the Kane opportunity. So I think we deserved the win. I don't think it was our best display. But for all the huffing and puffing that Wolves did, apart from when he was through Traore against Lloris, they didn't have much else really, to be honest with you. So I think we've done well. But yeah, they did put the pressure on. But I expected that, you know. It's not going to be like, you know, listen, when we're at home, albeit it's Man City, we're like their bogey team, like we know. And we counter them, we get them on the break. But the Wolves game was always going to be a completely different game. But clean sheet, you nick a goal, you know, it's what you don't want any more than that. You know, it's good. I'm buzzing, man. I love it. It's great. 2 wins. When have we started the season with 2 wins? It's mad, isn't it?
It's been a while, hasn't it?
It's been a while. It's nice to do 2 shows, you know, week after week, you know, with 4 people smiling. It really is. So, Paul, let's come to you. Now, many people have said that this is a smash and grab today because Wolves had 25 shots to Tottenham's 8. Both teams had 6 shots on target. Wolves did have chances, didn't they? Would you go along with smash and grab?
Definitely. I thought Wolves were the better team in possession-wise, and you know, they got their 12th man. They got their home fans back in the stadium, which, you know, you can see that now in the results. When the fans weren't there, it completely makes a difference. No advantage now for away teams because they were playing in front of a full capacity stadium. So, you know, yeah, I certainly think we were lucky to get the win. If Wolves had players like Kane and Son in their team, they could have easily gone 2-3, 4-0 up. Yeah. But like we did, we defended as a unit. We were solid. One or 2 things, I was a head in the pillow when Dyer went running forward and let it go. And then obviously Adam Traore was through and all that. So, but yeah, you've got to take the positives, you know, Chris, as sort of here now, we're all smiling, we're all happy. 3 points, you know, home now coming up for the next one. Hopefully another 3 points. That's 9 out of 9. You know, just take each game as it comes and let's see where we are come the end of the season. I'm not going to overlook things or not too far ahead. We've been there before. Just one game at a time now, and then let's just see where it takes.
The trophies aren't coming, are they?
They are going to come, I think, hopefully.
I'm not even mentioning that word today.
FA Cup.
I'm not even going there.
That's stuck with you, like pick and mix is stuck with me, Chris. That's it.
Every time people see me now, they just say the trophies are coming. It's no, I'm not even mentioning it.
People see me and just say pick and mix. That's it.
Harry Balls.
Ricky, let's come to you. Let's talk about the Dele Alli incident, the penalty after 8 minutes. I fully expected Heung-min Son for some reason to take this penalty. Were you confident in Dele Alli? Because, of course, the last time he scored a goal for Tottenham was from the penalty spot in our last away game when we were allowed to go to games in the Premier League against Burnley.
Oh, yeah. Burnley,
yeah. But you know what? Of course, listen, whenever we get to a penalty, right, there's always that apprehension, okay? Like, my dad never watches a penalty, by the way. Every single time that there's a penalty for Tottenham, he leaves the room, he'll leave the house, he'll go for a walk, he'll wait for me to shout, and he'll come back and then he'll have a look. You know, so we're Tottenham fans. We're always going to have that little kind of trepidation in the chest, right? But, again, I love the fact that he took the responsibility. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's showing us that he's gonna be there for us to rely on in the hard times, you know. And if he's the one that's got to step up, then fantastic. He stepped up and put it away. Like even like the ball from Reguilon, you know, to get the penalty was a dynamite ball as well. I thought it was dynamite, and he's been building as well. Like, it's not just, we saw his offensive side last year, and we saw a bit of a like try too hard, rash side as well. But we're seeing a bit of a nice mix and balance between it. Yes, he got barged off the ball, muscled off the ball by Traore, but show me a player that ain't gonna get barged off the ball by him. I mean, come on. Like, how isn't he?
He's got biceps bigger than my legs,
mate. You know, I feel sorry for the kit man because I'm sure he rips every single kit. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's solid, man. He is solid. But like, look, he took the responsibility. He picked up the ball, took the responsibility, put it on my shoulders, Gaffer. No worries, I've got this. Like, as soon as I saw that confidence in him, I was like, let's go. Like, let's go. You know, yeah, of course, I would have liked Sonny to take it, but I would have had more confidence in Sonny taking it. But I was as soon as I saw him pick the ball, I was like, all right, cool, we've got this, we're good. You know, and another thing is like before last year there were so many gaps in our defense. Right, every single time there was a breakaway, there was like there'd be two men stepping up, two men behind. There was gaps everywhere. You could pass. And even though Wolves had all of those shots, and you know they were on front foot with their home crowd backing them, you know what I mean? So they had their own energy to try and like get those 3 points for the new manager and their home crowd that they ain't seen. So we had that to deal with. But the unity was fantastic. Like Tanganga, him there organizing, talking. He wasn't shy.
Yeah,
you know, like, and I'll whisper it as well. I'll whisper it because it's still early days. But I mean, Dyer and Sanchez, they done all right.
You know,
like, they're stepping up.
Do you know, Ricky? Sorry to interrupt, but during the second half, Dyer was an absolute leader in that Tottenham back line because he was shouting at the team, he was getting them pushed up, and I saw a new side to Eric Dyer today, and I was very, very impressed with him.
Well, you know what? When Dyer first turned up, and we had the Spursy, the word Spursy was going around a lot. He was talking about soft underbelly and stuff like that. And I remember seeing an interview with him kind of going, you know what? Like, he had enough of it. He was angry by the question given to him by probably someone from Sky Sports. But he was like, we're going to finish this. We're going to wrap this up. Like, we're not having this soft underbelly sort of thing. And I was like, oh, there is a leader in there. And look, he's had injuries. You know, like when he was playing DM, he had like a couple of injuries. He's been off the pace a couple of times. He wasn't my favorite defender last year. I saw the back of his head way too much. But again, I think even like buying Romero and knowing that we're in for centre backs has put a fire under his backside as well to kind of go, well, look, I've got the spot right now. You know what I mean? Until I mess up within a position, then you can't get rid of me. And so he stepped up, not only in his ability, but in his leadership, and it's really good to see. We don't want to go too hard right now because we know it could all change within a game or two. Do you know what I mean? But right now, to see him step up and have a back line that can handle that pressure that we dealt with today and last week against Man City, it's a good sign. It's a really good sign.
Definitely.
Oh, is he frozen?
Well, we don't want to get too carried away, Ricky. Is there any part of you that feels a little bit negative about how many chances Wolves did have?
I mean, there was. I did want, obviously, a lot more possession and a lot
Ricky,
more.
did you catch that?
Yeah, I just caught it. Yeah, we're back in. We were delayed a little bit, but I'm there, mate. I got you. Yes, yeah, of course. I would like us to have a bit more of the ball and a bit, and dominate the play a lot more than we did. But it just showed me how we can handle the pressure when we're under it like that. I was like, okay, not every game's gonna go our way. Especially away from home, like Gaz was saying there. So to all right, cool. It's not going our way, but what can we do here? And they were a unit. Yeah, I mean, Lloris was classic. Again, Lloris, 300 appearances. I mean, dedication. And like, a lot of people forget that he's our captain as well. A lot of people say Harry Kane's our captain.
Always,
in the press.
Sky, isn't it?
all the time. But Lloris has been our captain for, 300 games. And like, we're going to miss him when he goes, let me tell you. Yeah. We're going to miss him. If this is his last season, I see another year contract maybe at the end of the season, especially if he does well. But if this is his last, I mean, he's going to go out with a bang. Like, we're going to miss him. It doesn't matter however good Galini's going to be. Like, we're going to miss the class and the skill and the level of goalkeeper we have in Hugo.
Yeah, absolutely right. Gary, let's come to you. Let's talk a little bit about Hugo Lloris, because that save was absolutely fantastic. He's made his 300th Premier League appearance for the club today, overtaking Darren Anston's record of 299 Premier League appearances. Any favourite moments of Hugo Lloris in his career so far at Spurs?
Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Saving Aubameyang's penalty. That's probably one of my all-time favourites. What was the last season? What game was it where he done that double save? Do you remember? It was insane. Do you remember that? There
was a fantastic save against Bayer Leverkusen. I remember some fantastic saves in the Champions League, Real Madrid. Lots of very good saves.
Just because it was Aubameyang Woolwich last minute. Oh, just absolutely lovely. But listen, that one today wasn't
Champions
far
League
behind.
Against Aguero.
Traore was through on goal. I got to be honest, I was sort of half and half, and I thought he's going to tuck that away. And you would have put money on him, but I don't think that was a bad shot or finish by Traore. I just think that was a world-class save by Lloris. He just opened his body up. It made it difficult for him with the angle. And I don't think you could say, you couldn't put Traore to blame on that. I just think it was just a world-class save. You're going to get the commentators that are going to say, oh, you should have scored and all the rest of it. But credit to Lloris there. I mean, he's got us the 3 points at the end of the day. Let's be honest about it. Because that was unbelievable. I've rewatched that save back about 7 times. That's how sad I am. And I just can't believe it. It's
not at all, mate.
Mental. It's just brilliant, though, wasn't it? But I love Lloris.
Yeah,
I think you're right, though, what you say. I think maybe one more year with Lloris, Ricky. I think maybe, and it's kind of going to be Lloris, Galini, kind of, and I think that's why Galini's come in. So I'm hoping. I heard whispers about this was his last year, but I don't know if that's come from him or if that's just speculation. But I think he's got another year or so in him, and he's so loyal to the club, isn't he? Let's be honest. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely brilliant. And you're right. What you said, Ricky, as well. It just frustrates me sometimes with Sky Sports, because when they start waffling on about Harry Kane, they always just assume he's the Tottenham captain, don't they? It's like all the time. It's just so disrespectful to Lloris and to the club. I just think, like, what are you on about? Do you know what I mean? And I think, games like today, proves why he is the captain, because if anyone got us them 3 points, like I said, it was Lloris at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, brilliant.
Leading by example, and that's exactly what we need. Paul, let's come to you. David writes on screen now, I was not overly happy with that performance, but grit and determination got the job done. Do you think that we should go all out and go and get Adama Traore? Now, a lot of people have written this in the comments, and we have been linked with him in this summer transfer window. Traore for you, would it be good in the Tottenham Hotspur shirt?
Yeah, it'll be a good acquisition, but again, I can see him a bit like Lennon when he first joined. Got all the pace. It's just the end productivity, really, for me. Don't get me wrong. Of course, any defence or any team troubles or the pace that he's got, definitely. And anyone that comes to Spurs to make us better, so much be it. I want them there. But just end product. I'd be happy. I'd say, let's go all out and get him. But I think there's other wingers out there. Personally, you asking me to sign another winger? No. Another striker for me. Another attacking midfielder. Still don't think we replace Ericsson. Another defender, another right back, and then if we get those in, well, you'll see me doing cartwheels in the show come the transfer window deadline. I'll be over the moon, mate. I'll be, even though I'm smiling now, doing somersaults and all sorts around this day. Don't you worry about that.
I want to see that, somersaults.
All right, mate.
Paul, do you know what? I just want to say, we always feel so good when Tottenham Hotspur have played well and it's been a fantastic performance. But I've also got to say, I feel quite good that we've actually got the 3 points today.
Yeah.
Like David says there, grit and determination, a real good defensive display from Tottenham because, we have criticised on this channel so many times, the people that have been on. And we have said, like Ricky said earlier about Eric Dyer, many Spurs players have been heavily criticised about defensive performances. But it does feel good, doesn't it? Getting 3 points when, it is like a smash and grab.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, mate. It just shows the unity within the club. And I don't care if we do lose, but we're trying. You can accept that because you just lost to the better team on the day. But when they're not trying like they have been in previous managers, with Mourinho, I don't think things were great behind the scenes. I think attitudes were, he was the pedestal and players were beneath him. With Nuno, fair play to him, was he my first choice? No. The players responding to him. So, onwards and upwards, got my backing. But like I say, I think you can accept it to some point when trying. And that, they haven't been trying previously in other games last season, the season before that. So, I'll take smash and grabs any day, mate, if we get us to 3 points. At the end of the day, performances are going to be nothing. It's getting those 3 points at the end of the 90 minutes and then getting up that league. I don't care if we park the bus for the next 37 games, providing we get the 3 points, Chrissy. I want us to win trophies. I want us to be successful. And if we've got to do that ugly and grit and determination and blood, sweat and tears, come on, you Spurs.
That word's come out again. I can't believe it. Ricky, let's come to you. Daniel Phillips writes on the screen now. 2 games, 6 points. Thoughts on Harry Kane's appearance? What did you make of Harry Kane's 20 minutes?
I think he done well. I think he could have scored. I think it's going to take a few games to get him back into the rhythm. Obviously this whole saga is going to have an effect on him. We know he's professional. We know he loves us. Do you know what I mean? Even throughout all of this, he still loves us. And this is where he gets credit for me because he did come through our youth system, because he has given us 8 years of unbelievable service. To see the fans clap him off, to see him go up to the fans as well at the end, I thought that was a little bit of a kind of not an apology, but a kind of thank you for still supporting me, thank you for having my back. And I think more of those performances and more of those type of receptions will just help him grow. I think part of him, even though he didn't tweet last week and he hasn't tweeted for a minute and stuff like that, but part of me felt that he probably missed seeing that Tottenham crowd at full capacity, at full noise, on it throughout the 90 minutes against Man City, the club he wants to go to. But when you see them erupting after Sonny's goal, I think he missed it. And it was again big up to the crowd, the away crowd today that were there at Molineux, because you let him know how much he's loved and how much we adore him at Spurs. And it doesn't matter how much money you give him or how much money is paid, you can't buy that. Do you know what I mean? You just cannot buy that. Yeah. I mean, I saw half of the Man City stadium. I saw half of that empty. What was it, yesterday? Pictures of that.
Yeah, see that.
Yeah, definitely.
Shocking, wasn't it?
It was the Emirates.
It was shocking. Yeah. It was shocking. It was shocking.
Really
but
bad.
you know, we know how much class he has and how world class he is. Do you know what I mean? We know what type of level of a player and of a striker he is. So he's always going to have an effect on our side. And he came in for 20 minutes. That would, you know what? Even if he didn't do anything constructive, the fact that he was on the field for those 20 minutes is more important for us right now. Do you know what I mean? It's getting him back in the fold. It's getting him with the shirt on. It's getting that, you know, to feel the crowd, to feel the atmosphere, to have that kind of desire to go and play. All of those things are more important right now than any flick or trick or shot that he could have done today. You know, so that was the most important thing. He was on the field and he's back in the squad. Do you know what I mean? He's back amongst the team.
Ricky, with him getting 20 minutes today, do you think he's staying? Does this change anything?
You know what, Chris? I've always felt that he was going to stay because of the money scenario. I just didn't think anybody was going to stump up the money. And it's very clear. It's very clear from me and every single Tottenham fan that I speak to or see on Twitter or see messages. If Man City wanted him that much, they should have paid the money real early. Yep. Do you know what I mean? And this ain't on Levy. Do you know what I mean? Like Levy has a lot to answer for.
Yeah.
But this ain't on him. This is where he plays the best game. You know, where he gets the most out of it. If they're leaving, we get the most value we can get out of that player and out of that price tag. So I don't feel that, you know, he should be given a discount to go. I just feel that if Man City really wanted him, they should have stumped up the cash early, and then it would have been done. He would have been theirs, and we would have been moving on. You know, but they haven't, and I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to try, and they'll try with one more bid, but it'll be stupid. It'll be like 100 and, you know, like 101 pound 1p, like one of those Suarez ones. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's not going to go through. I think the fact that they put not just Nuno, but Paratici, Levy, Hitchin, everybody was in agreement, I assume, for Harry Kane to go. Unlike Ndombele, right? So Ndombele, he said what he said, and he wants out. So where is he? He's nowhere to be seen, right? But I think with Kane, there was a thing inside that kind of went, nah, bring him in now. You know what I mean? And I don't think that you know, even the media side, there hasn't been pre-season. There wasn't no real picks or bids until real late of Harry Kane. So to get him in the Spurs shirt on the bench and then on the field, I think the club are trying to let us know that he ain't going nowhere. So to me, he stays. And for all these years of service, Chris, this is where I allow him. You know, like other players that want to go, if you don't want to play for Tottenham, I don't want you at Tottenham, normally. Exactly. But where he gets a little bit of credit for me is the youth system, is the 8 years of service, giving it his all every single game, you know, getting us out of trouble many a time. You know, that's where he garners some credit and some leeway with me and integrating him back into the squad.
Yeah. Chris?
Now, Gary, let's come to this. Sorry, Paul, go on.
Yeah, I was going to say, mate, just sorry to interrupt there. I saw on the Twitter there were fans booing Harry when he came off the coaches. Was that the Wolves fan, mate? Was that the Spurs fans? Or were you there when the players arrived to Molineux at all?
Do you know, Paul, I'm always there when the players arrive, but today a Wolves fan actually invited me for a big breakfast. So
I saw that.
I actually went for the big breakfast instead. So apologies about that.
Fair play. I think I did the same as well, as me.
From what I'm hearing, it was the Wolves fans that were booing Harry.
Good.
I'm sure it was.
In connection with England, I think it was around that type of, like, just trying to get on his case, and obviously him wanting to leave to go to Man City.
Yeah, the Spurs,
so from my
fans seem pretty happy with him.
All I can say is what I saw, and during the game, the reception for Harry Kane was absolutely exceptional. And if you want any proof of that, check out my fan cam that I uploaded an hour or two ago.
Yeah.
Because the reception for him was absolutely superb. And as you said, Ricky, he come over to the fans. He didn't need to do that. He always does it. Yeah. And I'm sure that some of the media might even say, yeah, but he's got over to the fans to say goodbye. You know, they'll make up their own stories or whatever.
They always do that, don't they?
But he was absolutely, you know, welcomed by the Tottenham Hotspur fans. It was great to see. Gary, let's come to you. Comment on screen now, having a feeling that Steven Bergwijn will have a good season. Now, let's go back to the game. 38th minute, Steven Bergwijn crosses to Dele Alli. The ball was just behind Dele Alli.
Yeah.
Such a shame, because Dele Alli could have just knocked it in. It would have been 2-0 and it would have been job done by that point.
Yeah, 100%. I wasn't the biggest fan of Bergwijn. It was frustrating after such a good debut scoring against City. I mean, it was unreal, wasn't it? And I was trying to learn that hand thing. I could never quite get it right. It just don't look right when I do it. It's like a scary movie when I try it. But he started so well. But, you know, one thing I will say, in a way, he's very similar to Traore. He's got quite a lot of bulk on him. He's got pace. In some ways, I think he's better than Traore. It's just like what Greg was saying. It's just the final thing, Paul. It's just the final last thing when he just misses them chances and stuff like that. But it was a tough one with the Dele Alli one because, you know, he's getting in the right positions. He's getting the crosses in. Yeah. He's setting up the goals. You know, I mean, look, the week before against Man City, I mean, that was all Bergwijn, wasn't it, for Son? So you have to say, okay, the goals are going to come. I know he scored one pre-season and stuff, but I think we got to stick with him because I think you touched on it earlier, Ricky. I think it's since Nuno's come in and stuff. It seems like he's a type of manager where he's letting players express themselves and they're feeling a little bit more relaxed and more confident. And I think he's finally coming out of his shell. And I think he will come good, Bergwijn. You know, if you'd have asked me that near the end of last season, I would have been like, no, you know, it's not going to happen. But there's been a lot of times in the games now where he does look good and he has improved. He's just got to get... I mean, it's such a shame he didn't get that one against City last week. It would have been perfect. But you can't fault his effort in both them games. And I think if you're comparing him to someone like... I know we'll probably touch on him later, but if you compare him to someone like Ndombele, at least Bergwijn is, you know, giving it his all. And that's all you can ask for. You know, yes... He might not be getting the goals at the moment. And, do you blame him for that pass to Dele? Well, at least he's getting in them positions to get them passes in. You know, that for me, that's good enough. You know what I mean? And the rest will come, I think. I'm sure of it. So he gets my vote at the moment, Bergwijn, now, you know, definitely.
Well, the thing is, Gary, that Ajax actually wanted to sign Steven Bergwijn in this transfer window. And Nuno Espirito Santo wants to keep him at the club, and he obviously trusts him, and he obviously wants to give him this opportunity, doesn't he? Because he has featured very heavily during pre-season and in both of these Premier League games so far.
But I think that's, you know, that's good on Nuno, and also for Bergwijn. How does that feel for Bergwijn in comparison to last season with Mourinho? Yeah. You know, that's got to help his confidence. You know, and almost under Mourinho, if he did a bad pass or he missed an opportunity, that would hit his confidence and he'd be really nervous and worried. Yes, he missed a good chance against Man City last week, but did that affect his confidence today? Not in the slightest, you know? I mean, he almost scored, you know? I mean, I think it will come. I mean, you know, you can't be too hard on him. I think he's definitely improved. I'm happy with him, you know? And he's very similar to Traore because he's got pace and he's got muscle behind him as well. So, you know, I think he's going to be really good for us this season. I do, you know? I think he really, really will be good, and he's already improved in my books, 100%. So,
Paul, let's come to you. Comment on screen now from Richard. Big up our captain Hugo Lloris today, 300th game for us. Yeah. He was awesome again today. Safe journey home, Chris. Thank you very much, Richard. Paul, you know, give me your thoughts on Hugo Lloris and you know what you made of him today, because Tottenham have put out a tweet stating who was your man of the match today. They've named 4 players: Hugo Lloris, Dele Alli, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, and Oliver Skipp. We'll come on to the other 3 players shortly, but your thoughts on Hugo today?
For me, Hugo all day long. I thought he was amazing from start to finish. Yeah, you know, I've always been impressed with Hugo's, you know, organisation. He's always shouting when I've been to the live games late. You know, not these keepers that keep quiet. He's always talking to defence. I thought he was brilliant from the start to finish. I'm hoping and praying that, you know, we have such a good season that he then wants to stay for a longer period of time. And you know, we haven't got to try and see if we can find another keeper to his calibre. You know, I know we've got Goalini, but for me, experience that Hugo's got from France in the World Cup to the players he's played with could be good for Tottenham Hotspur, you know. So, I thought he was amazing. I thought his positioning was great today. I thought his leadership, coming out to collect balls when he needed to be, keeping calm when he collected the ball in his hand and crosses and headers. You know, I thought all round he was amazing, and he's rightly, for my eyes, man of the match. You know, you could have, like you say, the other three were good as well. But for me, he controlled it. He calmed us down. He set it all. He was the leader from the back that, you know, we can see and we've all been trusting. And I can't wait to hopefully see many more clean sheets and wins and 3 points and organised defences moving forward. So it can only be good for us.
Do you know what? I think what is good as well is that competition for places. You see what real competition for places, what that can bring to a team. You know, having Galini there and like knowing that he's trusted by Paratici, knowing that he's supposed to be the heir to Hugo's crown, but Hugo's still there, and he's like, oh, really? All right, well, let me show you. And it forces him to keep his performances up and his like and keep pushing his own levels. So I think like competition for places is like really key right now. Not just having something like, I mean, look, we had Hart last year, but I don't think he was any real competition. You know, Hugo's still new.
No,
whatever
he was
happened
setting for like backup.
Right? So whatever happened, Hugo always had number one, right? But having this guy come in, supposedly heir to the crown, having him there, like just giving Hugo that little bit of a push and to go, all right, and cool. You haven't offered me no contract as yet. It's cool. I'm the captain. Let me show you. And that's what he done again today with that dynamite save. Do you know what I mean?
Ricky.
So,
Well, I was going to say, Ricky, that in the 65th minute, Hugo Lloris's distribution straight to Steven Bergwijn created a chance for him. I'm finding that since Nuno Espirito Santo has been, in as Tottenham Hotspur boss, and this might be a coincidence, his distribution has been a lot better. Do you think that there is any coincidence in that? Bearing in mind that Nuno is a former goalkeeper?
Well, I do. But you know what? I saw a similarity in Wolves. So even their keeper, he done a couple of those pings as well. So maybe that's a tactic from Wolves that he kind of created or cultivated when he was there, and he's brought it over. You know, we don't have to go for the build it up from the back and like, you know, go stage by stage and try and be tricky. Sometimes if we've got the pace that we've got on the wings, Lucas, not so great today, but like Lucas and Bergie on the left, I mean, and Sonny up front, that's pace galore. So if you've got these players running off the back of the defenders, and you can get Hugo, who's got dynamite delivery when he wants to, you know, we almost got an assist there from Hugo today. So I think it's probably a tactic that Nuno's brought in.
Gary, let's come to you. Brad Matthews writes on screen now. Big up the away fans for singing for Harry Kane today. I'm sure if he doesn't go to Oil City FC, he will give his all to Spurs. What are your thoughts? You know, Ricky said that he thinks Harry Kane will stay. Do you think he's going to stay at Tottenham beyond the 31st of August?
Yeah, I think I was the same with Ricky. I've been saying for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. I think he's probably going to stay, but I think he might only stay one more season, and then he might go. But this could all change. I mean, if you would have asked me today, do you think Harry Kane would play? I didn't think he would play. I thought he'd be on the bench, but I personally didn't think he'd come on and play today. You know, and I don't know. I've heard sort of whispers that Son, did he pull his hamstring, or was he just taken off with no injury whatsoever?
There's been lots of rumours about his injury, but I think it's probably precaution, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but me personally, I thought Kane would be on the bench. But I didn't think he'd come on in the game today. Do I think he's going to stay? Yes. Do I think he wanted to leave Tottenham? Yes, he did. Will he be happy to stay at Tottenham? Yes, he would. And listen, everything happens for a reason. And how ironic would it be, you know, if he stayed for one more season, and I dare I say it, we actually won a trophy and got top four.
He's coming.
Do you know what I mean? Wouldn't that be typical Tottenham? You know, Harry Kane's trying to get out the door. You know, whether you blame Levy, City, you know, he's saying 150, they're not paying it. You know, everything else goes on. Grealish jumps in, and then he stays for this one more season with the intention to leave at the end of the season. But then we get top four and a trophy. Then he probably stays. You know, then he stays. I mean, look, we'll probably touch on Dembele, but it looks like Dembele's out the window. I've got no doubt there's another 2 or 3 players in and out yet before the end of this transfer window with Paratici. I genuinely do believe that. And if we go on a good run and we start getting some good results and stuff, Why isn't he going to stay for another season? And then if we did get top four, and listen, we spoke about this on the other show, Chris, and I would be more than happy to win that Europa Conference trophy. You know, for me, it's a trophy. It's a European trophy. Won that and got top four. I think that would be enough to keep Harry Kane at the club. You know, because look, you go to Man City, you win the Carabao Cup, you win the league, you win the FA Cup. Is it really much of an achievement? You know, is it?
Well, at the moment we have
come on, man.
You know, is it really? If Harry Kane goes there and then wins the league, is everyone going to say, "Wow, Harry Kane, you're so amazing. You left Tottenham and you won the league for City"? You know, I don't know. I just
to win the league. Maybe wants to win the FA Cup,
League Cup. I
would want to.
Yeah.
Fancy asking me a question about trophies. You know, I'd always chase the trophies myself.
Trophy, definitely.
Paul, let's come to you. David writes on the screen now. BBC News have reported the response to Harry Kane coming on was mixed. Now, not where I was in the away.
No, that's rubbish.
You know, it's all over the videos. Lots of other people were taking videos. The videos are all out there on Twitter and social media. I have absolutely no doubt.
Stirring the pot. Like,
I've no doubt that journalists will say that it was mixed, but you know, me being there, it definitely wasn't. It was very, very supportive of Harry Kane. Yeah. Paul, very quickly on Harry Kane. I don't want to talk about Harry Kane for too much longer. Do you think he's going to stay at Tottenham beyond the 31st of August?
I'd like to think he would, but I'll be honest with you, mate. If City come up with enough money in the kitty to prize him away, then I wouldn't be at all surprised come 31st of August we're saying sayonara to him. You know, I think. Oh, of course, what he's done for the club, he goes down in my heart and legendary status for me, like Jurgen Klinsmann, etc., etc. So, you know, he doesn't do a Sol Campbell on us.
No.
You know, it goes to my blessing, because if he does go, then he's given us everything he had, you know, and wish him all the best. But, of course, from a Tottenham fan point of view, why wouldn't you want Harry Kane at your club? I'm surprised that everyone's questioning the amount for him. I think he's worth more than 150 million personally. If Coutinho can go to Barcelona and they pay that kind of money for him, Harry's got more goals, more assists, tried in the Premier League, so why couldn't we get top dollar for him? Don't get me wrong, I know the pandemic's here, and obviously a lot of clubs have got no money to spend, blah, blah, but, you know, you want to buy these top players, you've got to pay top dollar. Unless you don't do that, he stays, and I like to sing Kiss the Badge for many more times in the Spurs Chat, mate, because you can't replace him. Who are you going to get of his quality? Haaland maybe is on the same level. Don't get me wrong. I'll probably get criticised for saying you can't compare Haaland to Harry Kane, but for what they bring to their clubs, irrespectively, Haaland's a goal scorer, a natural finisher. Harry does that, but he does this as well. But I'd put him in the same calibre. I'd want them both. If I had to give 150 million to one, it'll be 150 million for Haaland. Sayonara, Harry. We've got someone just on the same ilk that can get just many goals. So,
not
going to happen.
Ricky, let's come to you.
Wrong.
Ricky, let's come to you. We've spoken about how good Eric Dyer and the defence was today. Two other players that I thought had great games, Oliver Skipp and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Now, of course, we know that Pierre-Emile Højbjerg is a real leader in the centre of the park. How have you found Oliver Skipp since he's come back from loan from Norwich City?
I'm just so happy, firstly, he didn't go out on another loan because he is definitely the partner that Højbjerg needed. Last year, I just felt that Højbjerg was doing so much by himself. Like, he was expected to be all over the park every single game for 90 minutes, like cleaning up everyone's messes. But at least he's got somebody solid beside him. And you know what? Skippy is not just he's not just a typical defensive midfielder. He's not just there for the battle or the tackle, even though he is. He has a pass in him too. Do you know what I mean? He has a bit of a forward run and jink in him as well. So them two working as a partnership. We've got some partnerships now. Højbjerg and Skippy, you know, they're creating a partnership right now. Skippy wants to be there. He wants to perform. He wants to show everybody why he should be a starter every single week and why he should be the next Spurs captain in a couple of years. You know, he's decided, all right, cool, like, you know, I want to be here. And that loan last year really improved him. Like, even the staff, I saw reports that, he went away a boy and came back a man. Like, he came back a bit more like confident about his own ability, confident about where he should be. And and the roles that he should undertake. And we're seeing that. The more games that he gets, and especially with somebody like Højbjerg, who is another captain for me, like the way what he says, his attitude on the field, off the field, and then the performances. Having somebody like him alongside Skippy, I think is going to be fantastic for us as a team and for Skippy the player. Like he's going to just grow and grow and grow and grow this season. The longer he's, as long as he's injury free and stuff like that, I think it's the start of a beautiful relationship, really. Like So we're starting to build relationships. Even like with Tanganga coming in, the same type of attitude. He wants to be a right back, or he wants to be the starter. To see him. Mate, been amazing. Look,
love him.
He's young. Both of them, Skippy and Tanganga, they're young and they're going to make a mistake. Yeah, it's going to happen. But we have to support them when they do, because they're going to have more good performances than bad. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. With the attitude that they're showing and the support of Nuno and this new kind of new energy that they've got searing through the team right now. So just quickly,
Ricky, because you've just reminded me when you said about a mistake. Did you guys see how good Skipp's tackle was against Traore, and he got booked for it? I don't know if any of you noticed.
It was.
I did see that.
Wasn't a booking.
The away fans were actually on
tackle. It was like as good as a goal, wasn't it? I don't know.
It wasn't a booking.
I was going to ask you about that, Gary, because the away fans were actually on the opposite side, and it didn't look bad to me. But he made a fantastic block as well, him and Dele Alli in the Spurs box.
That was an amazing tackle. Honestly, tackling the game. Yeah. I mean, Sanchez did a couple of really good ones, but that tackle was unbelievable by Skipp, and he got booked. And I was like, I just don't understand it. It's things like that in the game frustrates me. It drives me mad because it was brilliant. But yeah, Ricky, man, 100% Tanganga and Skipp. Just love them. And listen, look, I've been this critic at times, Sanchez, but Sanchez had a good game today, man. He done some really vital blocks and stuff, and he was really up for it. And it's amazing how his confidence has gone up since Nuno's come in. Look, like you said, we all know there's a mistake in there with Sanchez and all that. But if he gives it his all and he's not nervous on the ball, he's not shying away, he doesn't look as nervous on the ball now as what he did last season, Sanchez. Even Dyer doesn't. And I think that just comes from confidence, doesn't it? It's crazy.
Well, do you know what, Gary?
Touched on it.
I was going to say the Copa America. So he done really well in the Copa America, and he looked like another player playing for Colombia again. So I think having that, and then having the kind of the threat of him being shipped out and being used as a make weight in deals left, right, and centre, again put a piece of fire underneath his backside to be like, let me show you, let me show you. So I think we're getting there.
I think you touched on it, guys. You said, obviously, if they made one mistake under Mourinho, they were out. So they're going to be more worrying to make a mistake because of that reason. They'll be like, well, if I make a mistake, I won't be in the team for the next 6 months. So of course it means they can express themselves. Of course. Yeah,
if the eyes are on you, you're going to make a mistake more so if the eyes are on you. And if you've got a really difficult boss and he's going to be down your back when you do something wrong in whatever job it is, it puts you under pressure. And because of that, you make more mistakes. It's just,
of course, I mean, human.
A great example of that was Bergwijn last season against Liverpool. So when he got all of that stick, right?
All the stick,
and he missed two great chances, right? We know he should have scored. We all know it, right? But instead of the support that he got ridiculed. Not only from the press and stuff, but even Mourinho, and, he tried to half support him, and in the next game he didn't play, and then I don't think he played for another 3 or 4 games after that. Yeah. And that is gonna knock you. Do you know what I mean? So even when you do come back on as a sub or as a starter, you've got this on your back. You've got this Liverpool. Missed. The fans were on me. You've got all of that on you. But this year, you can see that having Nuno's confidence within that player is helping him kind of blossom.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. 100%.
Exactly. You'll respond, for people who are putting your arm around you, saying how good you are, even if they don't think it. Saying it, it's going to boost your confidence anyway. Harry Redknapp was the prime example for that. You could think that's actually useless, but to him on the training pitch, just bigging him up, He always said about, Bale being a pansy at training, just leave him. Look what he did for Gaza. He was amazing at that, wasn't he? So all for that. Keep going doing that, Nuno, and arm around the players, and let's see where that takes us.
Yeah, definitely.
Paul, let's stick with you. I'm very impressed with Nuno today because, of course, we beat Manchester City, the champions, last weekend, with that starting 11. And, normally managers would tinker around with the side. They would make changes. And if you think that Harry Kane played 20 minutes today, some managers would have put Harry Kane straight back into the team and started him. But I am very impressed that Nuno actually started with the same 11 that beat Manchester City. Was that the right decision for you?
Yeah, definitely. As I say, it's all done with pre-season. He worked with these players more, feels that he could trust in them. And I was not one bit was I worried about what his team selection would be, or he just gone in. He's got a clean slate with everyone. Can see one's attitude in training when he's first arrived. Different stages of obviously the latter part of the Euro. People coming back later. So rightly so, the people that he's worked with, he's trusted with. He knows their fitness levels. He knows them on a personal level more now. All for that, Chris. I was really pleased, and I've been impressed with him. I have to say, did I think he was the ideal man at the time? No. Did I think he was a yes man, more of a Conte who would then be fiery, demanding? Yes, but he's a Spurs manager, mate. So I'll back him. The man in charge. We've had Christian Gross, Jack Santini, of these types. So he's above that. So yeah.
Let me ask each of you, because I'll answer first. He was my fourth choice. Each of you, what was Nuno in number-wise in your choice?
7th, 8th.
8th.
Well, I think he was Tottenham's. I think he was about Tottenham's 10th choice when he Gary. So
my fourth.
I think I think go along with it.
No, guys, he wasn't even on my list.
No.
And I'm telling you the truth. He wasn't even on my list. I wanted Ten Hag. Do you know what I mean? I thought Ten Hag would have been the perfect guy to come in and for the philosophy and all of that blah blah. But I think what is really nice here is that we've had to. The one thing that I asked for last year was for Levy to step back and get a football man to do the football inside. Yeah. I knew that at the end of the last season, when we was getting protests and stuff and Enoch out and Levy out, I knew that they wasn't going anywhere. I just had a feeling that they're not going to, and Levy ain't going to go nowhere. So instead of protesting that, let's try and do something else. Let's get a guy in that is a football man to deal with the footballing matters. And you look at Don Paratici, not only has he kind of gone after a different level of acquisition, right? But he has been there every single game. So much so that he's had to get his buddy Hitchin to be like, bruv, you're sitting with me. Let's go. Yeah. Because Hitchin was the bench. I never saw Hitchin a game like that.
No, the bench is amazing. Together, cheering, celebrating goals. Yeah, it's incredible.
Cheering, berating. I think it was last week. I saw the video of Paratici being like, Stevie, middle, Stevie.
Yeah, brilliant.
You know what I mean? This is what you want to see, right? Yeah. So you've got Levy now dealing with the let's say the price of Harry Kane and the financial aspects, and to gain the club, not themselves, but the club, some profit and some money in. And you've got Paratici who's come in, who, again, he wasn't even my first choice as director of football. I wanted Campos. Do you know what I mean? I thought he was going to be dynamite. But listen, Levy, and this is where, look, for all the criticism that he does deserve, he's done it. He brought the football man in, and not only that, he courted him for years. He has been, he has been speaking to Paratici for years. He's been trying to get him to Spurs for a minute. So to get him in and to give that power to him, to allow him to kind of go, all right, and cool, bro, you deal with that, I'll deal with this. And so he brought in a manager in Nuno that he know that can fulfill what he needs and what we need right now. We needed a high intensity style of football. We needed more fitness in our game, because you look at the last 10 minutes of every single game last year and we collapsed. So we knew we needed these things. So you bring in a man that you trust to do those jobs, but also somebody that you can speak to and go, look, I've got this player. Trust me, Nuno. Have a look at him. Let me know if you really like him, but we're going for him anyway. Do you know what I mean? And so they're building this relationship, and it's Paratici that's brought the new energy for me, from top to bottom and throughout the squad.
It's been best sometimes.
We oh my gosh, we were at our I felt that we was at our lowest since the early 2000s, late 90s, last season, right?
I don't know.
I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't think I'd have to go through this again. Do you know what I mean? But since Paratici turned up, I felt a new surge of energy, and I felt that there's a new light over us, and I think we're going in the right direction now with the right team.
Yeah.
Well, Ricky.
Well said.
Ricky, let me come back to you and ask, because Fabio was on the bench again today, and even though the away fans were opposite the dugouts, we could still see him up and down shouting instructions like he's the manager. There is 9 days left of this transfer window.
Bye. Sell.
What is Fabio going to do in these 9 days for us, and what do we need?
Well, I mean, there's still things that we know. We all know the things that we need. Creative midfielder, right back, hopefully another CB, and an attacker, like somebody that can play with attackers. Kane or somebody that can play as a replacement, you know, when Kane's having a bit of a rest in the Conference League or something like that. Those are the things that we need. But with him in charge and with these 9 days, we know from everything that we've heard over this pre-season of him coming in, how he works. He deals with 10 players at a time in every single position.
Yeah.
So it's terrible for fans like us and someone like Chris that does all the bloody world transfer news. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it does nothing for my heart rate or my blood pressure. Let me tell you, it does nothing for it. There was a time, Chris, bruv, it even to a point where I had to stop watching you because I was like, I can't deal with it. Until we sign somebody, I can't deal with it. It was too much. I was like, nah, I'm done. Like, Chris, I love you, but I can't do it until we sign. Until I see the shirt, I'm gonna do it. So I think it's going to be a bit more of that in the next 9 days. But I trust him. These players I've never heard of. Some of them, Hero Tomiyasu and even Romero, and I wanted Milenkovic. That was one I've wanted for a couple of years. I felt we should have done that. Do you know what I mean? I felt we should have.
I wanted.
But I trust him because I know that I feel he's a football man, and he knows like these little diamonds in the rough, like Brian Hill. Do you know what I mean? Like he looks like a diamond. Do you know what I mean? With a little bit of polishing, he could be fantastic. He could be a game changer and a world beater. Within time. So I'm just going to trust Don Paratici to do the damn thing. Hopefully we get a couple out so we can get even more in the funds. But you look at it, even the loan deal for Romero, I mean, look at that. We've agreed 55 million and we don't have to pay it. So whatever we've got still in the budget, we can still use. And then we're trying it with...
Yeah.
And we was trying it with Martinez and Vlahovic. Like, we've still got a little kitty there. Do you know what I mean? So he's a don. He's a don, and I trust him to deal with the matter in the next 9 days. I don't think we're going to get every position filled, but I reckon we'll get 2 or 3, and one really good surprise, like one which makes us go, oh, like,
a Van der Vaart
raises the eyebrows. Yeah, I think we're going to have a Van der Vaart moment. Absolutely. I think.
I hope so.
Like, wow us.
Yeah.
I think somebody's going to come in that just that makes us hold on.
I'm going to clip this short clip of you, Ricky, saying he's a don, and I'll ask you that in 9 days' time. See if you say the same. Now,
Listen,
Gary, let's come to you.
Let's do it. Transfer deadline day show. Let's do it. I'm there.
Absolutely. Now, even while Gary's sitting there, he's writing comments on this stream saying the trophies are coming, Chris. Right? You've got Daniel Phillips on screen now saying, "I'm confident that we can get top 3." Let's not get carried away. And I can't believe I'm telling you that. Don't get carried away. It's only 2 wins out of 2. Gary, realistically, what can we achieve this season, Gary?
Well, look, I said at the start of the season, I'm confident we can win a trophy. And I know we always talk about trophies, but I think we've got a good chance to go and win that Europa Conference trophy. Now, I know it's a mixed bag with a lot of Tottenham fans, but as far as I'm concerned, when you ain't won a trophy since 2008, beggars can't be choosers. You can't be fussy. It's a trophy. It's a European trophy. Go for it. Go for that trophy. I've got no arguments what Nuno did on the Thursday gone. He put out the reserves, he put the kids out. He wanted to see how they played. I'm going on Thursday, Chris, like you, and I've got no doubt in my mind we're going to see a different lineup. and there will be some first team players in there. There will be. He'll put some first team players
in that game.
Because it makes sense at the end of the day, you know. Why are you going to risk on and stuff? You're going out to Portugal. Only madmen like you, Chris, will go out to Portugal, come back, and then again to Wolverhampton on Sunday. But if you think of the players, imagine if you brought out that first team and they went to Ferrero Rocher and, you know, we won 2-1.
Legend, mate, legend.
Could he have played that team today? I don't think he could have. So I think the game plan was, okay, if we keep a 0-0 or we lose 1-0, we can turn it around in the second leg. And that's what he will do. But I do really hope they take this Europa Conference seriously, because as far as I'm concerned, it wasn't just about finishing above Woolwich for me. As much as I love finishing above them every season, it was getting European football. It's still European football. And if we can win that trophy and get in the top 4, then to me, that is a really, really good season. And I'd be over the moon with that. You know, honestly, I mean, I know the majority of fans and stuff want the top 4. But for me personally, I want a trophy as well. You know, and I think we're good enough and have a big enough club with like what Ricky touched on with Paratici players coming in and out. It looks like Dombele's out the door now. You know, with some of that money, with our record signing, we'll talk about him in a bit, no doubt. There's no reason why we can't challenge for the Europa Conference League and get into that top 4. So that's what I'm going to stick to and what I'm going to go for. And I really think we can. And we was only 5 points away from getting top 4 last season. And we were awful.
Gary, there's a comment here from Craig calling you delusional saying all this.
Craig knows me. But you know what? It's partly delusional, but then part of me says it's not that delusional if you think about it. If you think about us going for that Europa Conference League, that, you know, a lot of the teams in there you can't even pronounce. You don't know half the teams. So we've got a good opportunity to win that trophy, right? And then if you look at top 4, and if you look at top 4 and you look at the other sides and how they're playing and everything else, and we've strengthened since last season, and we're only 5 points away from doing it, there's no reason why we can't do both. We weren't a million miles away getting to the Carabao Cup final and getting in the top 4. Yes, we sacked Mourinho a week before the final, which was a big mistake for us. So there'll be no Nuno getting sacked this season. So we'll have the same manager at the end of the season. So I'm confident we can win that Europa Conference and get top 4. And I think the further we go into the Europa Conference, fans will then start to want to win it, and a lot of their attitudes and opinions will change on it. I think because it's early on, they're like, Europa Conference. But once we start doing well in the league and we've got that opportunity as well, for me, I love the FA Cup, Chris. You know, I've seen Tottenham win the FA Cup a few times. I love it. The Carabao Cup I love as well. But you can't deny the fact, whether it be a 3rd-tier trophy, it's still a European Cup.
Yep. I agree.
So let's go and win
it. I completely agree. Paul, let's come to you. Now, of course, we're 1-0 down after the first leg, Pacos de Ferreira, and we play them this Thursday, our next game. Do you think Nuno Espirito Santo will make major changes? You know, will the likes of Harry Kane play in this game?
I think he will make some changes. I don't think maybe Harry will play. I think he will probably go with Sonny, if that's my preference. If I thought Son come off because of purely that reason, to keep him a little bit more fresher for Thursday mind. I think there will be more first-team players that you'll be seeing on Thursday, Chris and Gaz. I'll be with you. I think we'll need to, because we don't want to get out in the first round of this competition. You know, we want to get a trophy over the line, no matter who we're playing against, what opposition. You're going to beat what's in front of you. So, definitely there'll be a few more first-team players at the stadium, and I think we'll win about 3-4 personally.
Gary, I've got to put this comment on screen here. I think there's more chance of seeing Chris and the Dream Boys with Gary than finishing in the top 4. There you go. I think that sums up the video, really.
You never know, Chris might be hitting that stage with me.
I don't think so.
There's a lot of
to come in.
We need cover on a Saturday night.
I eat more sweets than you, Gary.
Is that possible?
Ricky, let's go on to you. Pacos de Ferreira in the Europa Conference League. How do you feel about this competition? Do you think that Nuno Espirito Santo has kind of learnt a lesson from Thursday night? Do you think that he will put the same 11 that he put out last Thursday, this coming Thursday, or do you think he'll swap it all around to get through to that group stage?
I think he's definitely going to mix and match in the second leg. I think he's going to mix and match. I think it's, but I think he's done well in the sense of putting the pressure on that second team, on the kids, and giving them an opportunity under a real game scenario, under somebody that wants to win and get that Tottenham scalp, you know, to see what the response is by those players that were playing. And I think he would have learned a lot. I think he would have learned a lot by the team that he put out last week. Next week, I think he's going to mix and match. I think he'll probably play Romero and Dyer, for instance. I think he will play Harry, almost like a... Yeah, but I think he'll play Kane almost like a pre-season, like give him 60 minutes or something like that. You know, I don't know if Sissoko and Aurier, I think they're trying to keep him out of the squad so that we can sell them. Do you know what I mean? I don't know right now, but I think it'll definitely be a bit of a mix and match. I still think like Brian Hill will play, and a couple of the youngsters, maybe like Mal John as well. He might get a start in there. But yeah, Sessegnon. But I think, look, I think he's going to put a team out that he believes can get through and then can win. And then I think it's a great competition to use that squad. You know, how many times have we seen players like upset because not playing or they're not involved? So it gives them a platform and it gives that second team a kind of an opportunity to push for the first team. You know, to kind of put in performances, kind of like lead by example and kind of show their skills and what they can bring to the first team on a Saturday or a Sunday. So the squad have to really use it and be serious about it, you know, especially during the group stage. Once we beat them, Ferreira Roches, once we beat them on Thursday and we get into the quote by Gaz and we get into the group stages, I think he'll do more of the same, where he challenges that second part, you know, the B team, to kind of go, look, not only are you going to represent us within this cup right now, but show us what you got. Make me want to put you into the first team, you know. So I think it's going to work for us, and I think it's like Gaz said, it's a trophy we should be going for because we're in it. We're in it. We're not in the Champions League. Of course we want the Champions League, but we're not in the Champions League. So we're in this. It's the first year round. Go for it. Why not?
Yeah,
definitely.
Exactly. Go and win it. That's it.
Let's go.
Well, I want to ask you all one last question. I want score predictions for the Pacos de Ferreira game on Thursday in the Europa Conference League, and a score prediction for Sunday's game, next one in the Premier League, Watford at home. You know, at this break, Tottenham could be top of the Premier League by the international break. Ricky, let's start with you.
We've been there before.
There's positivity, eh? And I've even mentioned trophies.
I screenshotted it before, so to prove it.
Well, no, against Pacos, I think we're going to win like 4-0, 4-1 on aggregate. Like I see a lot of goals. I see us kind of dominating that ball. I don't see them having that many chances. Look, we put a side of kids against them, and they got 1 goal. Do you know what I mean? And that's just through, and that's just through their determination, being at home in front of their crowd after pandemic. They had wanted to get that Tottenham scalp, so they put all their energies in that. When they get to the stadium, when they get to White Hart Lane, and we've got the crowd with us, and we've got a team that wants to go out there and put the wrongs right. Come on, man! Like I see a 4-0, 4-1 on aggregate. Watford, I see a 2-0. We're going to keep the clean sheets going with Hugo, and I see a 2-0 win against Watford. Danny Rose won't be playing, so before Anthony Costa starts messaging in and saying that Danny Rose is going to score against us, he won't be playing. All right, he won't be playing.
Ricky, that's why I love having you on. The positivity is fantastic. I love it. Paul, let's come to you next.
If we don't have hope and belief, what are we going to do? Energy is undeniable. If we hope and believe, we can send it forward. Do you know what I mean? So let's go get them.
Love it. Paul, let's come to you next. Score predictions for both games.
Yeah, I think on Thursday night, Chris, we'll win 5-1 on aggregate. There you go. And I think there'll be some races from a couple of teams. You heard it here first. 5-1 on aggregate, so we'll score 5. And then I'm going 3-0 against Watford.
Wow. Positivity, eh?
Definitely, mate. I'm new season, new Paulie boy. Come on, you Spurs.
Yeah. Come on.
Gary, what about you?
Well, listen, I'm always glass half full. I'm really confident, but I don't want to put dampers on it. But I think Thursday is going to start a frustrating game a little bit, right? So I think we're going to get midway through the first half and we still ain't going to score. We're going to be a bit like, oh, and then we're going to get a goal and then we're going to go for it. And I think we're probably going to get about 3 or 4. But I think it's going to be one of them games where we know we should win and it should be an easy win. The longer it goes, when you just start getting a little bit agitated and stressed. I think that's how Thursday's going to go. But we are going to win 3-0. And I think when we play Watford, I think it's going to be a very, very convincing game. We're going to play really well. We're going to have loads of chances, but we're going to win 2-0. But I do think we'll look back at Watford and say, do you know what? We could have won that game 5 or 6-0. And that's my gut feeling. And my gut feeling so far on both the games, Chris, is I've got it pretty much like you, spot on. And I just feel with each team that we're playing, that's how Tottenham is. And I think that's how we'll be. But win for both, 100%.
Well, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win for both games, Pacos de Ferreira, and I think we'll go through. I'm hoping that we'll go through because I absolutely love the European away ports. So I don't want to miss out on the European aways. And the Watford game, I think we're going to win 2-0 as well. But I'm just absolutely delighted that Nuno Espirito Santo has had such a good start as a Tottenham Hotspur boss because there has been so much uncertainty, of course, not having that manager for 70 days as well. And as Ricky even said, he wasn't even on his list. So, that's why I'm absolutely delighted that Nuno has had such a great start. And I'm so glad to see Harry Kane back in the Tottenham Hotspur shirt as well. Despite all of the speculation about him moving to Manchester City, I think if we are a club going forward and challenging for trophies or challenging for the top 4 or any European spot, I think that we need players like Harry Kane. So, it's all positive, and I've absolutely loved talking to you three today. It's been very, very positive, so thank you so much. Paul, thanks so much for coming on.
Wait, Chris, pleasure as always. Safe journey home.
Before we go, boys, everybody that's watching and everyone that's going to click this video, you need to click their like and subscribe because the dedication that Chris has shown today, that he's pulled off on the services to do this whole full show on the way back from Wolverhampton, you've got to big him up. Almost as dedicated as Hugo Lloris, right? So big him up, smash all the likes and the subscribes, etc. Right? But Chris, before we go, I've got to ask you a question. All right? Now, I was watching a Donny Brasco documentary on YouTube about 2-3 weeks ago, and I could have sworn, bro. I saw you walking in like a don, bruv. Like a don, bruv. You had the hair, you had the slick back, you had the long jacket. And I was like, is that Chris? Is that him? Like, bro, I paused it about 10 times, bruv. Every time you walked in. And I was like, the next time I'm on, I've got to grass him up and I've got to ask him, was that you on that documentary?
Will you be disappointed if I say no now?
Yeah.
It was you.
Yeah, it was me. There's actually some better episodes of where I was the head of FBI with my feet on the desk. That's even better. So check those other ones out.
In, Chris. Don Chris, rolling with Don Paratici, mate. Don Chris in the house. Big up.
Well, as long as we keep getting the results, I'm happy.
You can act as well, Ricky. You're amazing as well.
Oh, well, thank you, bro. I mean, like, when you see the Don up there, man, it's like, I've still got to raise the level. Do you know what I mean?
All 3 of you compared to me, I'm Lucky Mouse.
Well, Ricky, thank you so much for joining us because you're always such a fantastic guest and one of my favourites, I must say.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me on. Always an honour, always a pleasure.
We're hurt.
And of course, we've got Dream Boy Gary. I bet you don't even know, Ricky, that Gary's at Dream Boys.
Yeah, Dream Boys. Yeah. Up in London every Saturday night.
Your OnlyFans must be popping, guys.
No, don't have one. Don't even have one, thankfully, because apparently OnlyFans is closing down now or something, isn't it? So I don't know what a lot of people's going to do for work.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, me. You can find me any Saturday night on stage with a bag of Haribos as I'm taking off my fireman outfit.
Right, my battery is about to go, so thank you so much for everyone who has joined me tonight. Paul, Ricky, and Gary, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Absolute
Likewise.
pleasure going to Molyneux today and seeing Tottenham Hotspur get another 3 points in the Premier League.
Chris,
absolutely. Go on.
Very quickly, can I just have a big shout out to my boy Toby, because he's been on the live chat talking, and just to let him know his kit's on the way. But if I don't shout him out, he'll never forgive me. So, and he's buzzing with the result today, as you can imagine. So.
Well, what I was going to say is we're all buzzing as well that the fact that Arsenal have lost 2 out of 2, they're in the relegation zone. So, it couldn't be better, could it? What a great weekend. So,
what a great weekend.
Thanks so much to everybody who has commented and put questions to us today. I'll see you on the next video. Until then, come on, you Spurs.
Chris.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
I just want to say, guys, big up to the fight, the friendly with the guys of the Arsenal with Sacco, the clapping. That was absolutely amazing, and I hope Rashford and Sancho get the same response, mate. So well done to all those at the game.
But we're glad he didn't score today, though. We're glad he didn't.
No, of course we are. Yeah.
But
I thought that was very touching, and I was proud.
Yeah, it was very good. Nice.
To see that reception. So well done to the fans that are there.
Yeah, well done.
Love you loads.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, and come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on.